Hello, hello. It is Friday night. Wherever I'm in the East Coast, I don't know where you are, but what time is it? Where are you? I'm Dr. Natalie Masson with Fertility from the Soul, and I just sent out a quick email to my newsletter list to let you all know that I'm jumping on for a quick live broadcast here. As you probably know, we have an event coming up on Monday. I'm going to talk about that. And it's Friday night. I just want to sort of wind down with whoever's here. So if you could pop in the chat, let me know where you are. I want to see who's here, who's on board, who's hanging out Friday night, who's bumping around. I don't know if you heard that big bump. That was probably one of my kids doing, I'm not sure what. I am out of town right now at vacation rental visiting family. We have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, and I'm doing the best with the space that I have here. So you may hear a little bit of background noise. And Kia from Chicago, nice to see you here. Who else is here? Go ahead and chime in. Let me know where you're from. And let me know if you have any questions about the 7-day TTC Chill Out Challenge. This is a group event that starts on Monday, where I'm inviting women who are on their fertility path, trying to get pregnant, holding the dream of creating a new life. And we all come together to do practices that are soothing, that are self-nourishing, that put ourselves first in line. I know as women, we tend to be caretakers. We tend to be putting a lot of energy out toward nurturing and taking care of everybody else, working, taking care of people at work. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of banging around going on over there. And sometimes it's so important to really take time to draw in energy for yourself and say, this is time for me. This is time for me to nourish myself. And if you're on that path where you want to create a new life, well, that is all about drawing in energy to, nourish a new life. So it has to come from drawing the energy into your own body, into your own system first. So Kia, yes, I'm trying to conceive before my birthday. What birthday do you have coming up, and when is your birthday? If you're here live, please let me know. Say hello, say hi in the chat, and where are you? Also, oh my goodness. Sorry for all the banging. It's a little distracting from it. November 11th coming up. Okay, you've got a birthday coming up. Sometimes we hold these milestones really significantly when we're trying to conceive. There's so much pressure about time and age. And I really like to kind of reframe all that and not have so much pressure around the timeline. Because, people start thinking like at 35, everything might be downhill from there. But there are women at 40, there are women at 45 who are getting pregnant. So you might have many years ahead of you from wherever you are. It's really hard to know. So I like to assume the best and focus on doing everything we can to take care of ourselves. And part of that is dialing down our stress, because stress takes so much energy from the system and it drags things down for us. So I'm going to step away for just a second to see if I can get that calamity to calm down over there. Excuse me for just a moment. Okay, I'm back. I have a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I think they were jumping on the floor as if it was a trampoline or something. So let me know where you're from. Where are you in your TTC journey? Do you have any questions about the upcoming 7-day Chill Out Challenge? I call it a challenge because that's what we tend to call an intensive event where we're going to focus on something for several days in a row. But really, in essence, it's more of a retreat. This is about creating self-nourishing time and space for yourself. And I'm going to guide you through a lot of different practices. If you've been on my YouTube channels and you've listened to my fertility meditations, let me know which ones are your favorites. The practices that I'm going to introduce you to in the 7-day challenge are not the same ones on my YouTube channel. It's a slightly different style. You'll hear some similarity, but I'm really guiding you through a whole cumulative process of quieting down the noise, tuning in, connecting with your breath, with your body. And it's something that I think is so helpful for us, and particularly in situations where we don't have control over all the outcomes. And I know a lot of people, a lot of the women who come into my community are real go-getters, really like action takers, proactive, extremely successful, extremely motivated. And then we hit this challenge of working with nature and trying to grow a human being. And it's not the same as getting an MBA. It's not the same as going for a job interview and knocking that thing out of the park. There's a different energy that's involved in cultivating an energy for optimal fertility. And so we want to be able to shift gears, and that's a lot of what I'm guiding you through in the meditations that I teach. So even right now, raise your hand, type in the chat. Has this been a stressful month for you? Has this been a stressful year for you? How many of you here right now who are on live with me have been finding these times to be a little bit stressful, or maybe even a lot stressful? Let me know in the chat. I want to hear what's going on in your life. Have things been like easy breezy, or has this been a little bit of a challenging time? I'm not seeing anybody in the chat speak up, so I'm gonna I'm gonna fess up that these have been very trying times in life for so many of us, for myself too. There's so much challenge and uncertainty going on in the air, and that's without the fertility journey on top of it. I'm past my fertility journey. I have my 2 girls. We're good. But just life in general, what's going on in the world, what's going on with health. I've had some really difficult things going on in my extended family. It has to do with the travel and why I'm out of town right now. And Kia says, yes, it's been stressful because the first insemination didn't take. Okay, so you're going through fertility treatments. That is even an extra level beyond trying to get pregnant naturally. So there's so much going on right now. And when it comes to these things that we don't have 100% control over, part of the process I find most helpful is to be able to come to that place of being able to sort of let go of control and allow things to be as they are, even as we're holding our hopes and our dreams, and we're not giving up on anything, but we're going to relate to our goals in a slightly different way. And it's hard to put it in words, but I think what's easier is if we actually connect with it physically. And if you're willing right now, I'd like to guide you through just a simple practice of coming into noticing our breathing in our bodies and letting our breath move slowly. Because if it's been a busy week for you, anybody want to share, has this been a busy week? It's been a busy week for me. And we can almost always benefit from just taking a moment to slow down. So if you'd like to do this with me, wherever you are, and you can type in the chat, let me know who you are, where you are. I'd love to see who in my audience is jumping in here. And just take a moment to, let's start with sort of shaking out some tension in your body. You can even use your hands and massage your neck a little bit. Can you do this with me right now? It's a lot more fun if you do it too. Just watching me might be relaxing for you, but really it's more helpful if you do it too. So relax your neck, shake out your head, shake your shoulders out a little bit, and then just let yourself notice your breathing. Let the breath flow into your body and out. You don't need to breathe in any particular way. There's a lot of breathing instruction on right ways to breathe. I like to dismiss a lot of that and really allow you to just drop into noticing that you are breathing. Breath is flowing into your body and out. And you don't need to force it. You don't need to pull it in. It comes into your body all by itself. And we just want to invite softness through the chest, through the heart area, softness through the belly as well. Allow the belly to relax and let go. We can hold so much tension in the body. And I'm just going to keep guiding you through. I know people are popping in and out, and I'm just guiding a gentle breathing awareness practice to soften through your chest, soften through your belly, release your shoulders, and let the breath flow naturally into your body and out. You can close your eyes if that helps you focus inward. But the focus here is just to let the breath flow naturally and then let it lengthen. Let it be nice and slow. Don't force it to lengthen. Just let it take its time, whatever the natural pace is for your breath. Envision it getting just a little bit longer as it flows in, and then nice and slow out. And then you can let it pause at the bottom. I like to think of a feather floating on the breeze. The breath is coming in, the feather rises. The feather drifts down as you exhale, and then it just sort of hovers until the next breath comes. And this is a very subtle, gentle breathing practice. But if you let yourself do that, I have a breathing meditation recording. It's not on this channel. It's on my non-fertility channel. But you can just Google or YouTube search breath slowing exercise, and it guides you through this. So just let the breath flow in and out, and pause at the bottom of the breath. And what's happening as you're doing this is by inviting a slow breath, your breath starts to slow down, and it's sending a signal from your body to your mind that things are okay right now. In this moment, you're safe. This is like the intuitive language of the body telling the mind. When you're breathing nice and soft and slowly, the mind is hearing that there's nothing to be nervous and afraid about. So the mind starts calming down too. So if you just let yourself follow this natural waves of the breath and invite it to be longer and slower. We mostly tend to be kind of revved up and breathing faster than we need to be, and we can just slow it down. And that's actually much more calming to the body. We're getting plenty of breath. You don't have to worry about not getting enough oxygen as long as you're healthy and well. Nice and slow is what's going to actually balance the chemistry of your body out to bring better health to you overall. So let me know in the chat if you're able to follow that and how you feel after doing just a few minutes of that nice, slow, gentle breathing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is to come. If anybody here is interested in the 7-day TTC Chill Out Challenge, we're going to be starting on Monday. 7 days of 15 to 20 minute practices per day. And we have women all over the world who are joining in together, and we're going to go through this all together. I think we probably have about 75 women signed up right now. And the link is in the description below. And the enrollment does close tonight in just 2.5 hours, midnight Eastern time. And the reason we close early is because I need to get everybody queued up in the system to go through my special email system where it's going to send you emails at 6 a.m. in your time zone. So I need a little bit of lead time to get that all set up. I see a couple of comments here. Sari, I believe that the mind and body are connected to each other strongly. Yes, yes, yes. I believe that very much too. And in all my work as a psychologist, very early on in my training, I was trained, I went to the University of Southern California, and their program was cognitive behavioral, which is your thoughts influence your feelings and your behaviors, and you can make changes in your emotional world through changing your thoughts and your behaviors and your feelings. There was nothing to do with the body. But I became interested in that on my own, and I started reading up on mind-body practices and working with the breath, working through the body and the breath to access emotions. And it really resonated with me. And I started doing that with my clients while I was in training. I was like, hey, I noticed something's coming up for you. Why don't you just pause and listen, notice what's happening in your breathing? And it was amazing. The insights and the transformations that I saw when I helped people work through body awareness and breath awareness instead of just talking about what they were feeling was like night and day. So from that point on, I just ran with it. And I wish every therapist was taught in school about the mind-body connection, how we can work through the body as well. But I'm just really excited that I've had a chance to develop these tools over the years. And this is a lot of what I bring into my fertility programs that I think is very unique. It's not just about telling yourself to relax, but learning how to do that physically and how the mind and the body really do go back and forth. And that can end up getting you caught in a cycle where one is holding the other back. Like you may be trying to relax mentally, but your body is still tense, or you may be trying to relax your body, but your mind is in this obsessive place. So you can't get it. It's very hard to move one without the other. So what I teach are methods to get the mind and body aligned and move them together as a whole system. And that seems to be a lot more effective. You can imagine why that would be. And Kia says, I feel relaxed. I love your channel. I watch your channel. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you find it helpful. And if you like my style of guidance on this channel, I really think you'll like my other programs as well. And the 7-day challenge, I'm just going to call it a retreat. That's how I think of it. The 7-day retreat, which starts on Monday, is the entryway into my other programs. I have a membership program called Conceive with Ease. And those who go through the 7-day retreat are invited into the membership program, where I continue to teach more layers of these mind-body practices. And we go more into depth on how to support your fertility. And in particular, the kind of niche area within fertility, not with infertility, within fertility that I focus on is improving egg quality. And that's actually what brought my interest into this area, was my own personal struggles with egg quality. I was 45 years old. Many of you probably heard my story, but I was 45 years old. And I did manage to get pregnant twice naturally, but both times I had miscarriages due to poor egg quality, and which is very common as we get older, especially in our 40s. So I did a little bit of investigation and kind of created a little bit of a program for myself for 3 months to really nourish myself with the intention of improving my egg quality. And the next pregnancy right after that was my healthy pregnancy. My daughter's 4.5 years old now. And I kind of made it my mission to say, hey, I don't know for sure if that's what made the critical difference for me, but if there's a possibility that there's something that in my system that worked for me, I want to pass this on to other people, to other women, because there are not a lot of options out there teaching women, A, that there's a possibility to improve egg quality, and B, how to do it. And if you've investigated this yourself, you've probably come across the book, It Starts with the Egg. That's become almost like the gold standard in the Bible for how to improve egg quality. And I love what the author Rebecca Fett has done in that book to get the conversation started on a scientific level and to break down a number of areas that could contribute to egg quality. I also feel that she missed some big rocks, some big components that could contribute to egg quality. She actually doesn't talk about stress very much. And I have dug into that research, and I'm pretty convinced that the way we internalize stress can impact not only our fertility, but our egg quality as well. So I delve into that a lot in my 90-day egg nurturing program, and that is all part of the Conceive with Ease membership. So for anyone who is interested on going to those deeper layers, it starts with the 7-day chill retreat, which begins on Monday, and you can sign up tonight, just till midnight Eastern. That program is going to be open for enrollment. I offer it about once every 2 months. We bring a whole group together, we go through it together, and then whoever wants to continue on can go into the membership program. So please let me know if you have any questions. We're here live, so this can be a conversation. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them right here. And if I don't have an answer, I'll let you know that that's outside of my range. Okay. So I really believe that there is a lot that we can do to support our fertility beyond the medical approaches beyond some of the standard, what supplements should I take? What food should I eat? I think that this mind-body piece really opens up a lot of additional areas that we can focus on, which is really empowering when you realize that, oh, I don't have to just, throw a Hail Mary and hope for the best. There are actually things that I can do to improve my chances. So question here, what did you do to improve your egg quality? So my approach at that time, so this was 5.5 years ago, my approach was to, think about it from a mind-body perspective, and this notion that what I had heard was that our eggs need time. There's a window of time before an egg is ovulated of about 3 months, maybe 6 months, when what we're doing health-wise can improve the development of our eggs in those last few months before the egg is released. So I just thought in terms of what might help my body have the best energy to nourish the eggs that are coming, and how can I do that in the 3 months before I try to conceive again. So for me, I reflected on, where do I feel like I am losing energy, vital life energy from my system? And at that time, I had a 3-year-old, and she had been keeping me up a lot at night. And so I didn't have very good sleep. I had been through 2 miscarriages, and they weren't super early miscarriages. They were well into the first trimester. So I had had 2 first trimesters back to back, and pregnancy pulls so much energy out of your body to try to create that new person. And so I was very, very depleted physically. I was depleted emotionally because it was very stressful going through this. And I wasn't sleeping a lot. I wasn't sleeping enough. I probably wasn't eating in the best way. I didn't eat unhealthy food, but I would sometimes skip meals and not eat the most balanced meals. So I think I'd probably drifted away from exercise. So there were a whole bunch of things that when I just kind of looked at my whole system, I was like, okay, I'm losing energy here. I'm losing energy here. I'm losing energy here. I wasn't having a lot of fun in life. I was pretty much obsessively focused on work and trying to get pregnant. I think it's hard to remember the details exactly, but I really kind of just started with a blank slate and said, what would I really need to do to optimally nourish my system? And I made that my top priority for 3 months. And I did not let other things get in the way. Other things like, my husband and I might get an argument. Nope, we're going to stay positive. I'm going to let that go. Anything, stay up late to get paperwork done. Nope, just going to let that paperwork build up, get some sleep. I just prioritized everything that would nourish my energy for 3 months. And I think this is what a lot of people miss out on when they're on the trying to conceive hamster wheel. There's this sort of living from month to month, from 28 days to 28 days, or whatever the length of your cycle is. You're like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get pregnant this cycle. And then if it doesn't happen, I'm all stressed out. I'm so upset. And then another few days later, you're going to go for it again. And there's this kind of cyclical up and down thing of, how well you're really taking care of yourself, how emotionally balanced you are. So for me, I think it was getting off of that, the hamster wheel, and evening life out, saying I'm not going to try to get pregnant for a few months because I got to get my sanity back here, or dial my health back in. And so that's really what I focused on. And so I encourage other women to not try to do what I did, because those are the things that I needed to nourish myself. But I encourage other women to think about, what does your intuition tell you about what your body needs? Because yours is going to be different from mine. Your stressors are going to be different from mine. What you need to feel uplifted and expansive is going to be different for you than it is for me. I started going out dancing again. I love dancing. I'm very much inspired by music and partner dancing, and I had drifted away from that. So I brought that back into my life. I started hanging out with friends again. I stripped away all the joy from my life over those months of trying so hard to get pregnant. And so I brought in a lot of nourishing things on many levels, not just the food, but, just the relationships, the activities, all these different things. So does that help answer your question, Kia? I think it's different for everybody. And that's what I teach in my programs, is how to be tuned into yourself and what you need, and how to work with your providers too, because there may be something medically that you want to be aware of. Maybe you have a thyroid issue. Maybe you have an autoimmune condition. It's important, I think, to not be too narrow and say, oh, it must just be, my mindset and I'm not hopeful enough and I just need to get more hopeful. Well, maybe, but there might also be something else going on physically or medically that's important to know about. So I like to really guide people through that whole range of possibilities. But we start with the mindset piece, because almost everybody, by the time they're coming to me on the fertility journey, almost everybody's pretty highly stressed out. And it's hard for the other things that we're doing to, I think, have a chance to make a real difference when we're so keyed up and wound up and trapped in negativity. So I really like to start. That's why I have first the 7-day chill retreat, to give you the basic skills of dialing it down, like shifting your perspective to get out of the stressed out, fearful place that we can get when we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm racing against the clock, things like that. We got to really let that shift and like bring the sunshine back in, and then maybe work on some of those other finer details in other categories. I'm going to check the chat here. Lorna, I recognize your name from Ireland. I found your channel by chance last week and really love your affirmation videos. I'm signed up for your Chill Out challenge. Yay! I'm looking forward to it. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you found your way here. And if you haven't listened to any of my meditations on the channel and you've enjoyed them, I'm pretty sure you will resonate with the practices that we do in the 7-day retreat and in the programs that follow that as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's such a, I don't know, there's something about the group that comes together. I don't know why it is, but something that I've been taught in creating my online programs. One of my mentors says, lean into who you are and you will draw to you the people who will resonate with what you do. So I kind of think that that's what my YouTube channel does for the program. I just sort of put out what I believe in and what resonates for me, and organically the people who resonate with that kind of come into that funnel. And so once we start a program like the 7-day retreat, I see people signing in and introducing themselves, and everybody is like on the same page. Everybody's like ready to go. We don't really have conversations about, did you ever consider that, how you're feeling might affect how things are going for your fertility? Like, everybody's already on the same page. So we just get to like move right forward in that mindset. And I can feel the synergy from day one before we open doors. Like, all week people have been signing up. I see people introducing themselves. We have like, it's formatted in an online course, and there's space at the end of each comment. So this is where everybody's sharing their introductions and sharing about their process as they go. So we get to know each other that way. And I can see right from the start how aligned and ready the women are, and everybody's super just supportive and open-hearted. And that's why I love running this program this way. And a lot of people have said, why don't you, they say, put this program on evergreen. That means let people sign up anytime and go through it anytime on their own. And I do have one course that's like that. It's called the Fertile Mindset 10-day Immersion program. And that's a 10-day program to guide you through all the meditations that are on my YouTube channel and a few from my non-fertility channel. And that's a program, you can sign up for that anytime, and you'll go through You'll get 10 emails in a row from whatever time you signed up. And I think that's a real nice tour through my various guided meditations and affirmation recordings. But the 7-day chill retreat has a slightly different vibe because everybody is like coming in together, setting their intentions over the weekend. And then Monday, the first day of practices, is released and everybody goes through it. You go through it on your own time. They're pre-recorded, so it doesn't matter what time zone you're in, but you're going to go through it on your own time and share your comments. And it's like a virtual group experience because everybody's gone through the same thing on day one, and then everybody goes through something together on day two, and you see all the comments coming in. And I tell you, every single time there's a certain magic that comes together from this synergy of what happens. So it's a little bit challenging in that I can't offer it. I can't offer it every week because I have to space it out to when I can show up and be present and guide everybody together at the same time. So I offer it every 2 months. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, when are you going to offer it again?" You know, I don't want to wait until, you know, like the next one's going to be in October. And I know in September, people are going to be just discovering me and going, "Oh, when can't you do this sooner?" And just because of the way all the other pieces are set up, it's really hard for me to do it much sooner. And I'm stubborn about wanting to keep it this way where everybody goes through it together because there is that magic. There's that community that builds over the week. And I kind of don't want to let that go. So we're continuing to do that. Sometimes I still think about how I might be able to transform it to something where you could sign up anytime and go through it on your own. But it's just really special the way it's been going. And this is going to be the 8th time we're doing this. The first time I did it was September 2019. And so this is kind of like our 1-year anniversary. And every single time the group has its own personality based on who shows up, what's going on in the world. In March, I was just starting to promote it, and then all the COVID lockdowns happened. So it was like a very memorable round where everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on?" And we did the challenge anyway. And it was very, you know, it was a very bonding, supportive time for everybody. So here we are, end of August. It's the end of the summer. I was going to do this in mid-September, but I moved it up because I thought I was going to be on the road traveling in the middle of September, but turns out we're not. We're delaying our travels. So I moved it up unnecessarily, but I'd already announced it. So I didn't want to push it back again. So here we are. We're going to do this at the end of the summer and right into Labor Day weekend. So for those who are in the US, this is going to be a holiday weekend that we're ending up on. But you know what? If you want to make space for this, you can, because it's only 15 or 20 minutes a day that you need. If you have a little more time, if you want to do more like half an hour more for the day to give yourself more time to kind of like ease into it and process what you're experiencing, that's great too. But if you're, you know, limited on time, 15 or 20 minutes is going to be enough. And I've had people go through while they were on vacation and they just get up a little bit earlier and do it before everybody else got up. I've had people go through this in all kinds of circumstances. Somebody went through this when she was flying around the country, going to medical school residency interviews. I was like, oh my gosh, how are you doing this? So I've seen women squeeze this into very tight spaces. So yes, we are finishing up this, what will be a Labor Day holiday weekend in the US. But I'm confident that if this is a priority for you, you can fit this in. Let me know where you are. Say hello. I see lots of people here live. So let me know in the chat where you are. And if you have any questions, anything at all that you want to share, I'm just happy to have a few minutes here to be live with whoever's here and offer you some inspiration and hope for possibilities. Hello, Rachel from Chicago. Nice to see you. Oh, good. More people chime in. Dion from Toronto. I was in Toronto in August of last year. I was in Toronto actually for a weekend event for online entrepreneurs. Very memorable, beautiful city. Who else is here? Yeah, I know. And we were supposed to have that event again this year, but obviously it wasn't happening. So it was held virtually. So we all huddled around our computers on and off over the course of 3 days, listening to time, logging into a virtual event. So, and that's really what I'm offering here with the 7-day retreat. It's a virtual event, but we're not doing it summit style where you've got to carve out your whole day to log into a bunch of online things. Actually, online is the wave of the future, and especially with COVID and the inability to travel, everything's going online right now. But I don't think it's the healthiest thing for us to be stuck to our screens all day long. How many of you have jobs or lifestyles where you have to be on the screen a lot? It's a little bit, it has its pluses and minuses. So with our program, I'm not going to be sticking you on the screen for a long time each day. There's very little video watching content. A lot of it is audio. The meditation practices that I'm going to guide you through are 10 to 10, mostly like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes in a day. So I want you to be more present and engaged in your life. I don't want you to be stuck on your screen. I don't want you to be on social media, getting distracted in every direction. And by the way, none of this is on social media. There's no Facebook group that goes with this challenge. I know that's a very common format these days, is to do a challenge where there's a Facebook group, and that can be very engaging, and that has its pros and cons. I don't want you to be hooked to the program in that way, and I also don't want you to be distracted by social media. So all of our content is in its own course platform so that you won't be distracted. You don't have to be on social media, and you can just focus on dialing down your stress, becoming present with where you are, wherever you are, and creating this little pocket of time each day for 7 days where you're really going to nourish yourself. So thank you, Lorna. You have a lovely energy. Thank you so much. And Rachel, happy to have a social media break. Yes. Yeah. Wow. Social media. It's such a mixed bag, right? And there's so much going on in the world right now that is highly stimulating and very triggering for most of us. So I think it's important to be able to put boundaries around that and say, okay, now I'm going to connect with that, and now I'm not going to connect with that. So actually, not just this program, but all of my other programs are also not on social media. I have a private forum for my membership off of social media because I just think there are so many ways that social media can pull us in unhelpful directions. And so, like I was saying, I would like everybody to be more engaged in their lives and not obsessed with the fertility journey. It's something that we want to find ways to support, and we do need to find time sometimes to dig in and do the research and collect some data, get lab tests and things like that. It's important, I think, to be knowledgeable, but it's important also not to be obsessed to where this has become our life. It's become our identity. It's become a lifestyle, being on the fertility journey. I don't think that is a healthy, balanced way to be. I don't think it serves your fertility well. So I like to see people being focused and intentional about developing their fertility program, but having that program support having a well-rounded life, a life that has meaning outside of this pursuit. So I really encourage everybody to use these tools for self-nourishing and also like expanding into a fuller, richer version of yourself, knowing that that's just a healthier place to be, and ultimately that's going to serve your fertility better as well. So are there any other questions? Anybody else want to chime in who's here? It's so good to see your names, and I'll look forward to getting to know some of you better as we go into the 7-day TTC Chill Out Challenge next week. Another question that I get sometimes is, how is this program different from the 10-day Fertile Mindset program? That program You can start at any time. You don't go through in unison with a group. And that walks you through all of the guided imagery meditations and affirmation meditations and a few other pieces of content. This program that we're going to be doing is, it's a cumulative learning across the 7 days. So the whole thing holds together as a cumulative chapter of learning. And that's one of the reasons I don't put these meditations on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel needs to be something that makes sense when somebody just drops in from outer space and puts some earbuds in and listens to the first time to what you're teaching. What I teach in the 7-day challenge is more cumulative, like day 1 leads to day 2, leads to day 3. And by the end, when you go through the whole series, there's a transformation that comes about because you've gone through the whole series. This is another reason that I close the doors early and I don't let somebody join in the middle, because it just won't hang together that well. So it's a whole series that I'm very happy to be able to share with you. And it's something that will serve you, this approach that I'm teaching to connecting with your mind and body and calming your nervous system. It's something that will serve you for your fertility. It will serve you after you become pregnant. It will serve you as a mother. It will serve you in any walk of life, really. And that's actually another question that I've gotten. Somebody emailed me just this week saying, I'm in my 2-week wait right now, and I'm really hoping I'm going to get pregnant. I'm going to get a positive pregnancy next week. Should I still sign up because I just might be pregnant next week? It's like, well, I hope that you will be, but I still would encourage you to sign up, because the things that you'll learn will help you no matter if it turns out you are pregnant or if it turns out you're going to be continuing to try to conceive in the next cycle as well. Everything that I'm teaching is things that I was teaching actually before I was on my own fertility journey, that I was teaching people for in my psychotherapy practice for general emotional healing and emotional well-being. Now I've added in a lot of pieces specifically related to fertility that I never knew about before. And so I'm grateful for all the things that I've been through my own fertility struggles, because I never would have learned about all these things and wouldn't have this to pass on to others. So are there any questions? Does anybody have anything that they want to ask or share about? If you haven't introduced yourself, let me know where you are, where you're coming from. Another question that I got just this week was from, I think it was just yesterday actually, somebody who's going through, very recently went through a miscarriage and just, has a hard time thinking about when she's going to be ready to start trying again. And you really need to give yourself time to recover from losses. I know it can be this big flip-flop from at one point saying, I don't think I could ever do this again. This is so hard. This is so painful. And then sometimes in another day or another week, it's like, I am trying again. I am going to make this happen. And almost becomes like this desperate thing to seek another pregnancy to heal from the loss. And it's such a emotional roller coaster to go through. And I just encourage women who have gone through losses, whether it's recent or as farther back, just recognize that you need healing time and to give it some time and not be in such a hurry to jump back. And this 7-day program that starts next week, that it's not reliant on you being ready to try again right now. You don't have to be actively trying to get pregnant right now. You're going to be learning tools that will help you with the healing process too. You're going to be learning tools that will help you if you decide to get pregnant 3 months from now. I mean, in the ideal world, these are things that everybody would be learning all along, well in advance of trying to get pregnant. So really, I wouldn't say that you would be a barrier if you're feeling like you're in a place where you're not ready to try to get pregnant and you need some healing time. This is also really well-suited program for that phase as well. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions coming up. I think I have a link in the description below if anybody wants to know how to join the program. And we have 2 more hours till cart closes on the program. And then I'll be sending out emails tomorrow to everybody who's in to let you know exactly what to do to get ready for Monday. And if you're not ready to join this time around, I will probably offer this again in October. And for those who are joining this time around, a lot of questions come up in the middle about, oh my gosh, am I still going to, remember how to do these things after this week ends? So I'll be introducing at the end the program that you can continue into if you want to continue these practices and deepen the learning. And there's so much that I'm eager to share with everybody. And I want to share it all right away, but I know that the learning process is like layers of an onion, right? We can only learn and grow so fast. So I share, this 1 week series with you. And then if you want to continue on, I have another week series. I actually have 4 more weeks, very similar, but on different themes to layer in the learning after this week. So that's something that you have to look forward to. If you go through the 7-day program and you really love it, if it really resonates with you, I have 4 more weeks like this. And the women in my membership program who have gone through this week and then the following 4 weeks, many of them come out feeling like their lives have changed, their whole perspective on everything, all their stresses, anxiety, a lot of improvements in sleep, a lot of shifts in longstanding stress and anxiety patterns. So it's such a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to teach these things that I love teaching, that I really believe in, to a group of people who are so open, who are so open and ready to soak in this kind of learning. So I think I want to, if there's no other questions coming up, I just want to thank all of you who are here with me live right now, everybody who is in my larger audience. I want to thank you for your openness and your willingness to follow along my guidance and try out these meditations that I share with you and give me your feedback and share your ups and downs with me. It's really a pleasure for me to have the chance to be present and offer guidance to you in this way. Okay, everybody, I hope you have a restful Friday evening or wherever you are in the world. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing some of you on Monday. But either way, please stay connected. Let me know in the comments on meditations what you're up to, how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions, and always let me know if you have requests for future meditations. I actually have quite a few in mind that I'm wanting to create. A matter of